Why would I be out at 6 a.m. in -7 degree weather whilst I'm on vacation in the Austrian mountains? Two key reasons. Firstly, because getting up early keeps me consistent. Secondly, because I enjoy it. And they are two of the most important reasons I've been able to get fit and healthy and stay fit over 40. Right, this is possibly the freakiest thing I've ever seen. Ready? Don't even want to look at it myself, but that is hella scary. What is that about? So, as I mentioned, I'm on vacation here in Austria and I'm up hiking, and I thought it'd be a good idea to give some tips or some ways that I have in the past 4 years managed to get myself in fairly decent shape as I've come into my 40s. But first, it's probably worth explaining where I was at in terms of my health and my fitness prior to my 40s. So if we rewind the clock back to the beginning of lockdown, I thought I was in half decent shape, but looking back on it, and at the time I kind of had a bit of a midlife realization that I really wasn't. Throughout lockdown, I was probably the only person who was still getting up at the crack of dawn, jumping straight into work. I was there pretty much all day. I was stuffing myself silly because there was no one to talk to, so I was like eating 2 Tesco meal deals a day for lunch, snacking all day, coming home from work to see the family, having dinner, and then cracking open a few beers, and that was a consistent thing every single day. And I went from about 75 kilos to about 92, 93 kilos in the space of probably 6 months. Now, it probably doesn't sound huge to most people, but my frame is not a 93 kilo frame. My frame is a 75 kilo frame. At the moment, I'm about 73 kilos and about 11-12% body fat. I ballooned over that period to about 23% body fat, 24% body fat, and 93 kilos. So I was overweight, out of shape, and really I didn't really like the way I looked, didn't really like the way I felt. So one day I kind of just woke up. There was no real defining factor that made me switch, but I just started prioritising my life, my health and fitness over other things. And I'm a business owner, so in order for me to do that, it was quite a difficult decision. But I kind of realised that in order to be the best I could be professionally, I need to be the best I can be physically, mentally, and in my own kind of body. So that is what I did. Okay, so there is a quote I've heard. I heard it from the great philosopher Denzel Washington. I don't think it originated from him, but it goes: dreams without goals are just dreams, and ultimately they lead to disappointment. On the road to achieving your dreams, you must use discipline and consistency, because without discipline, you'll never start, and without consistency, you'll never finish. And that quote kind of forms the basis of 2 of the tips I'm going to give you today. So we'll start off with consistency. So consistency underpins everything I'm about to talk about. If you're not consistent, you will fail. That is it. You might as well stop watching the video now. So consistency is my first tip. Ensure you're consistent. Ensure you're consistent with getting up early, with your diet, with your activity, with everything, essentially. The next thing is goals. So this is a big one, and what I like to do is I like to set one big goal every year, but back those goals up with mini goals. So for example, when I first started to get in shape, my big goal was I want to climb the Mont Blanc. Now that is a pretty huge goal, especially from someone who never really set goals before in terms of physical fitness goals, but my first goal was to climb the Mont Blanc. That was what I was aiming for. Along the way, I knew there could be milestones which would help me get there. For example, hiking a few peaks in the Peak District in the UK, getting into some form of physical condition, decent physical condition in order to climb the Mont Blanc, because you need to be marathon fit. So I knew I needed to get myself to a stage strength-wise for a start, and cardiovascular fit-wise. So I put in a few little milestones to do that. So there's your first 2 tips. You must be consistent, otherwise there's no point. And also, set yourself some goals. A big goal each year, backed up by some mini goals. Third tip is you need to make it fun, because if you're not having fun whilst you're trying to get in shape, you're not going to want to be consistent. So, for example, you may hate going to the gym, you may hate running. You don't have to run to get in shape. You can go and play tennis, you could go and play badminton, you could hike, like what I'm doing now. So there's like a million and one things you can do other than the most popular things: running, going to the gym. Find something you enjoy and just stick to that. That brings me on to 4th tip, is find a community. So whatever you choose to do, whether it be tennis, go and find a local tennis community, because they'll hold you accountable. They will make it fun. You will end up meeting some new friends, and ultimately you'll stay consistent because of that. My next tip, and one major thing which helped me get in shape, is to make it convenient for yourself. So I ended up getting a Peloton at home, and I managed to get that in lockdown somehow, and by doing that I was able to sit there at night. I mean, I'm over 40, so I've got kids, and if you're watching this and you're over 40, the chances are you might have a young family as well, so you find it very difficult to make the time to stay in shape or get in shape in the first place. If you've got something at home, like a treadmill, like a Peloton or a static bike. At the moment I'm big on Zwift, which is an online kind of interactive community, almost gamifies the process of staying in shape on a bike. So get something like that, put it in your house, stick it in your living room like I did if need be. Then when the kids are in there and your spouse, you can jump on that for an hour of an evening, and you can be building your endurance and building your fitness whilst they're sat watching the TV. And on the subject of family, if you do have a young family, or perhaps you have an older family, get them involved. So another thing I found useful was getting my kids and my wife involved in my health and fitness activities. So if I booked a half marathon, for example, I'd get them along to watch and support me. Most recently I've done an Ironman. Took the whole family to Portugal and they absolutely loved it. It allowed me to hit my big goal for the year, but it also allowed me to spend time with the family and get them involved in what I was doing. That also inspired my kids to want to do triathlon, want to stay fit. They come with me on the weekends to a fitness class, and it's all because I've got them involved actively in what I'm doing. Okay, then final tip in this very quick video on how to get in shape and stay in shape over 40. I'll go into more detail on some of these in another video or in other videos if you want. So the final tip is all around diet and what you're putting into your body, because as you get older that becomes more and more important. Not that it's ever not important, but as you get into your 40s, 50s, 60s, for longevity and for staying healthy, as well as staying fit, for staying healthy, you need to really be eating the right things, cutting out all the crap, and ensuring you're putting good nutrients in your body. So, my last tip is to change your diet. If you are eating processed foods, ultra processed foods, like freezer food, all sorts of crap, cut it out. It's easy to do. It's easy to do. Fresh fruit and veg and meat and stuff like that is available everywhere now, and you can get it quickly. You can cook it quickly. There's no excuse anymore to be going to McDonald's. There's no excuse to be picking up bags of crisps and chips and sweets and cakes and things like that, because you can get healthy options anywhere. Another thing I'm going to suggest is cutting out alcohol. Definitely cutting down on it, but if you can, just cut it out completely, because essentially you're just poisoning your body. I like the feeling of being drunk, I'm not going to lie, but I don't like the feeling of feeling like shit for the next 3, 4, 5 days. It's counterproductive, counterintuitive to my lifestyle and how I want to live. So if you are similar to me and you want to get in shape, stay in shape, it just doesn't make sense to drink alcohol. You can go out and you can have fun without getting pissed up, essentially. They're my tips. Very quick, sorry about that. I will go into more detail, as I said, in some other videos on how to clean up your diet, how to stay consistent, how to set goals. But for now, whilst I was out on this hike, I thought I would just list off those very quickly. Actually, one kind of final parting word: getting in shape and getting fit is actually really fun. It makes life a lot more fun. You can do more things, you can take part in more activities, more sporting events, you can do more things with your kids. It makes a lot of things more accessible. It's not hard work to do. You just need, as I said, consistency. That is it. If you like this video, stick a like down below. If there's anything else you want to see, drop a comment down below, anything in particular. If you've not been to the channel before, most of my videos are around health and fitness. Go and check out some old videos and you can see what sort of activities and sports and fun things I get up to help me stay in shape. Subscribe to the channel and I'll see you in the next vid. Peace.